Hi YouTube, I hope you're fine. I'm doing good. I shared something about Diotima and Socrates on love. It's pretty interesting. Um, it wasn't the Socrates I was looking for. He had it's like a denouncement or a rebuke proclamation, like he was talking to. Well, he didn't like democracy. Um, and the way to word this, like the ruling class, basically. He wasn't, uh, well, anyway, they killed him. But I mean, anyway, I hope I do find what I was looking for because, it's interesting. I'm gonna keep trying. I just have to remember the name of the darn thing. But I ran across this other one that was, it's pretty good. Uh, it's just philosophy. It's, um, basically. So I'm not sure what book of the Bible that this one part is in that I shared in my community, but I'm going to read it to you here. Um, then I said, I will not feed you that dies, let it die, and that is to be cut off, let it be cut off, and let the rest eat every one the flesh of another. And I took my staff, even beauty, his good advice. That was, it seems added, but anyway, through good leaders who feed you and cut it asunder. Then I might break that I might break my covenant which I had made with all the people, and it was broken in that day. And so the poor of the flock, whose leaders led them into their net, that waited upon me knew that it was the word of the Lord. Um, I'm sure some of you might know where that is in the scriptures, but I had ran across that meme, and I know that, like, let them that are evil be evil still. Yeah, personally in our own personal lives, but what's on my mind today is these people pretending that there's more than two genders and teaching that to children. It's criminal. I'm not letting it go. I know there's a lot of parents and grandparents out there that feel the same way I do. This is getting way out of hand. Textbooks on their fairy tale, mentally handicapped stuff being pushed in public like it's true. That's if it's not biologically logical and provable, it's not true. It's fairy tale shit. It's just, it's almost overwhelming, It's like, well, some people actually, I don't know if you personally feel like a lizard person with self-replicating body parts and those type of things as a human being. I have no clue how another person feels inside their own body, but I can only speak from what I have observed on this planet so far. There has only been two genders in my entire life. Women give birth, men don't, you know? and we're not a mixture of both. Excuse me a minute. So, I don't know. If people want to believe something different, that's one thing. But if you want to teach that to children, that's another thing. Every time we open our mouths, we have to think about whose little ears, not the big people, but whose little ears are going to hear what you're saying and possibly believe something that isn't true. Now, we all know that the Vatican's a snake. This has been known for decades. There's been people on the internet for decades showing people this. And what their intentions are is spiritual on this planet to destroy human beings. It's like a portrait of their destruction with these things like imagined genders. It's not real. It's what they want to portray to the public to keep the public under control. It's as simple as that. So, yeah, go ahead, be evil. As long as you're not teaching it to children. That's criminal. I mean, you're not going to think it's criminal if you're some kind of transhuman. You think you're transitioning into something that you aren't. Well, then you're not going to care what little people hear you or not, you know. Now, if you fool an adult into thinking that there's more to one human being than how God made them, well, that's on you. Then you are responsible for your own mind as an adult. But when you teach that to people, you're now responsible for them. And yeah, it's part of the agenda. And people can say, yeah, the Lord told them and the Lord guided them. I guess it doesn't mean they're not of God, but Satan's also guiding them. It's just that God will use it for goodness in the end. That's how that will work. And the person that was fooled, I'm pretty sure God will take care of them. If they truly are well-meaning human beings, I could see that God would take care of even the very stupid, you know. Anyway, it's disgusting. Making textbooks with more than two genders in there. If I had a child in school, that would be the last day of my child in school. And I think all parents that take your children out of public school should push the government not to have to pay the school taxes. It's like me and my community, why should I have to pay for school taxes? I don't have any kids in school. I mean, paying for roads, that's one thing. But paying for schools to raise more idiots and paying for wars that I don't approve of, why? Why should I have to do something I don't want to do? Might be a little bit of noise here. I'm thinking about rolling some cigarettes in a minute here. So just too much. Oh, yesterday when I thought something could be wrong, Doug almost had 2 accidents in 2 different towns yesterday when he was running errands. That could be what I was sensing. I don't know. But it seems like something else still. I don't know. I'll keep you posted. I guess I could look up when God broke his covenant with all people. And that wouldn't be the flood because he still had the covenant with Noah and all his offspring. So it couldn't have been then. It has to be the book of Revelation. Or John, perhaps, in the book of John. Maybe some of you know, but yeah. But it just says flat out, he broke the covenant he had made with all people. So, in other words, if you're not of God in your heart, what are we waiting for? You know? Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're waiting for what we call the day of the Lord, you know? The great judgment day, the great tribulation. Well, things have been pretty tumultuous, even more so than usual. So if it's going to get worse than this, yeah, I don't know. I didn't have actually a topic today or anything, just shooting the breeze. But that gender thing does, it bothers me that adults would actually, I mean, be who you want to be. Just don't teach it to the children, you know. I mean, if there's psychiatrists and psychologists out there that are coddling these creatures, that's up to you, however you're making your money, right? But as a woman and a human being that knows there's 2 genders, I have a problem with adults going along with this. I'm not worried about hurting somebody's feelings that would teach more than 2 genders to children. I don't have a problem whatsoever um, telling you how I feel about that. You know, I mean, how I feel spiritually, I feel the Spirit of God is masculine, a masculine energy, and the female plays a part too. But I'm saying, I feel as though it's not a mixed gender thing. I don't feel that God, my Father, is part female and part male. Maybe you do. Maybe that's the God you serve. Maybe that's who you praise. The fictitious Baphomet. I read a or no, I listened to something, I do believe yesterday, was on how, I can't remember the name of this one ruler that was back in like Roman times, and he was said to have breastfed, that he had breasts like a woman. Well, I've seen like beer drinkers and men that have a lot of fatty tissue because of the habits in their life. And now, was this dude actually, it didn't say he lactated, it said he breastfed. Um, does that mean that he actually nursed on somebody or nursed somebody? I'm going with the logical one. Men don't lactate, and they never have. So I'm sticking with this logical two-gender system, not the retarded duality that Satan wants people to believe in, but the one that God made, the man and the woman. Yeah, that. I'm going with the truth. You know, if we always kind of look to what actually is right in front of us and call it what it is for the reality of what it is, we'll probably be pretty safe and resting assured that we can duplicate it. Naturally, it will duplicate itself because it's proven to be pure, real science. True science, you know. Yeah, I've met guys with some pretty big breasticles, but that doesn't mean that they're female. I would attribute it to a high carb diet, maybe beer. I've seen a lot of beer drinking guys that have boobies, putting it quite frankly. And if you don't exercise, it's not going to be a chest, it's going to be breasts. So I could see some pleasingly plump to some. I think this was a god in India, if I remember right now, not Roman times. But they, well, one of them that could sit on a throne and pretend he was something that he wasn't because he had control over people, and they actually praised him or worshipped him or whatever. Can't remember the name of the thing offhand right now. It wasn't a real common one. It must have been in like little villages or that type of thing, but yeah. None of us have ever seen any of these fairy tale things that are being pushed. Now they can say this is what they want to do, but it doesn't make it true. They want people to believe it's true, but you still can't put lipstick on a pig and make it a human being, you know? Or turn a sow's ear into a silk purse, so to speak, you know? So really the people that are pushing these things are criminal. It's nothing to even laugh about, you know? I mean, people don't look at the Catholic Church or the other people with heritages that killed Christians, you know, they don't look at it like that. They're trying to combine it all together like this is what Christ taught or something. It's like, are you kidding me? What? People have to distinctly, you need to have a distinction there of what it means, what Christianity means. And what it doesn't, you know. Why would a culture pretend that Christ didn't come into the flesh to help them ascend to the Father? What would they gain from lies like that? What would another culture, the Catholic Church, what would they gain by pretending men and women are all mixed in the same body with this culture, the way things are? Could you see how they would gain something with all that? But you do know it's not real. Just because I can hear a man thinking, that doesn't make me part of a man. Gives me the capabilities within myself to be able to pull that information out of the ether, but it certainly doesn't make me have any body parts that I wasn't born with, you know, and nobody else does either. I guess some people really get a kick or think it's funny, or I don't know, with the confusion. Um, First, you'd think they'd start with logic. Like real, like this is a cup of coffee. Cheers. Trust me, there's coffee in it. Um, it's not juice, it's coffee in a cup. It's not a glass, it's a cup, you know. Things you can obviously see. Like, I'm not a man. You can obviously see I am not a man. I don't have man parts. I don't think like a man. And I think I'm really blessed with that. Did I offend somebody? Oh, well, it's the season, isn't it? You know, I'm not offended. I'm angry at these liars that are hurting babies. So I had a video taken down where I was talking about the crap that they tried to push on us to cover our faces. It was like about oh, a few years ago. And I just go on in my studio, and another one they took down. You know, they don't ask you for your defense before they take um your published material down. They just do it, you know. This is the type of thing that um when it's criminal to block freedom of speech, especially, here's another kicker. I'm a trained medical professional. Are the people that are checking my information trained in any kind of healthcare at all? I would say most likely not, you know. And then here's another one. I don't care if the Lord's leading your stupid ass or not. Have you ever studied biology? Do you actually even know what you're talking about? Or are you doing the will of Satan and pushing what he wants to be pushed on this planet to deceive people so the church can make more money off of people's sins? Because when you don't abide by the word of God and use the free will of mankind in a ill repute way, and the church is going to make money off it because they're going to approve it. If they said no to all this type of thing, like sodomy or divorce or whatever, they wouldn't be making money off of people, you know? It's like that thing I read yesterday, you know, just because somebody's going to be dirty to me or be a cheater or whatever doesn't mean you're going to make me go where you went. No, I'm not like that. I'll be loyal to the end to all the cheaters that I've encountered. Maybe not to them personally, but my personality in those types of situations. I'm not going there. I've seen a lot of people fall into that trap. It's like, well, he cheated on me, or he's doing that, or she, or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I've had it happen too. I'm not going to go do what they went and did. I'll just go find myself somebody else if that's what I wanted to do. I wouldn't cheat on anybody, you know. And the old two wrongs don't make a right. I don't even care about that. I mean, if I was going to do what I considered lowering my standards, that would be wrong to me anyway. Like I say, if I was going to do something like that, I'd just do it up front, straight up, you know. Like, oh, you do this? Well, anyway. But yeah, it's just my personality. I'm a loyal person like that. And to me, being loyal to God, this is me personally, is telling the truth about the genders. It's a really important thing. And if you're going along with what the Catholic Church, the killers of Christians, look into what they did in Cromwell, in England, what the Crusades, look into that. If you don't know anything about it, you should learn. This is just more of their murder in a it would be like soft murder, like soft porn. Speaking of that, the most grotesque things I could possibly see is a woman's vagina staring me in my face on YouTube, and these people like stoicism, like you're listening to stoic philosophy, and they use these uh, marble figures. Now they're using it like pornography, so I get this big ol' in my face with her uh, stuff hanging out right in back of it. Just, it's not even soft porn, it's pornography, you know. And the amount of shit that I have to put up with on this planet, I get angry, yeah. And that makes me want to cry. If I cry, you people, if I start crying over this shit, you got that? I'm getting to that point. I'm sick of it. It might not bother anybody else, but I don't like it. You know? Male or female, I do not want to see you naked. Like I said, it doesn't bother a lot of people. I'm not a lot of people. I'm not a mixed person either. I'm a woman. I'm a real mom, a real grandma. I'm not your fake ass anything goes type of thing on this planet. I'm different, way different than anybody you have ever met when it comes to that type of stuff. Or a lot of other stuff too. Yeah, I'm different. You couldn't pay me to change into the way the rest of the world is. Wow. If somebody said, I'll give you anything you want and everything you want, if you just tell the world that you have you part man in there and you're getting in touch with your male side and all the rest, they're bullshit. There's nothing you could give me. I would rather die than lie. I would rather drop dead right this second than paint a picture for somebody else of deceiving, the deceivement of everything that's going on. And I'm not even going to get into, I heard Stephen Ben-Danoon talking about Adam and Eve and childbirth and all the rest of their twists. I'm not even touching that one. You can all just go yourself with your bullshit. Teaching people that women did something that they didn't do. You stupid assholes. You got bad men on this planet, and you got bad women on this planet. And it was not the creators of the Christ Spirit that did anything wrong to anybody else. But some people will find that out too late. I'm telling you, there's two sets of spirits on this planet. There's an evil man and woman and spirit that works in the children of disobedience, and there's the good man and woman, and their spirits carry the Spirit of God and communicate with everybody on the planet. And those are the two different, the four corners of the earth. Those powers, the principalities of the air, not just the prince of the air that he calls his self. Yeah. Anyway, people will find out stuff, and it might be too late. They might have to come back and do this shit again because they were stupid the first time. Maybe they'll learn not to teach children three genders or more type of stuff. Maybe they'll learn that little eyes and even big eyes, we shouldn't be undressing other people on this planet emotionally for ourselves or for them. It's not going to help anybody with anything, you know? I'm strictly against like nude statues and paintings and all that shit. I hate it, and I hate the fuckers that hate that shit too. If that makes you one of them, well, guess what? Then you fall into that category with my hatred. whether or not that would alter somebody's life. Like, gee, I really admire this woman. I love her as a human being, and I wouldn't want to disappoint her. Maybe that's enough to tell somebody, hey, I'm stronger than that, and you're right. God doesn't approve. Who told you you were naked? Probably the person that raped her. I would say that's probably who told her she was naked. Or she would feel pretty naked after being raped. How about this? A 12-year-old gave birth to Christ after being raped. Yeah. And you think God wasn't with her? Or an angel didn't talk to her? Yeah, that's real. It's all real. And the Jews, they know all this. They covered it up. Well, calm down. You know? And the Catholics, I mean, a Jesuit is a Jew in disguise and a Catholic at the same time. Go figure. Same thing. Practicing their arts of deception and witchcraft within the church, using the scriptures to do it. So I would be careful who I was following. There's certain people I just can't. I can't even listen to one thing out of their mouth because I know who they're working for. You know, you can go ahead and love them all you want. I just can't. I won't. I will not. I'm not going to teach people something that is not true. Just because they want their fairy tales to come true, I'm not going to help them do it. Like that man with the breasts. Yeah. Anyway. Ick. It's so repulsive. It's terrible. I just feel so bad for little kids. I really do. I'm sure that they'll pull out of it. I mean, someday they'll be like, "Man, I can't believe I actually wanted to be a guy." Hopefully their parents won't let them have hormone blockers and that type of thing for their own selfish ways. You just don't do that shit to kids. I'd like to take that textbook of the many genders that they're going to try and push and all their weird names. I mean, Pan, come on. The Baphomet, and they call themselves pansexual. Come on, for real? There is no such thing on this actual real planet in human beings. They have to make themselves fake in order to achieve anything close to that type of thing. So what the fuck? I'd like to take that textbook and um, help them use it for a hat, if you get my meaning, and hopefully it's big enough where I can make it fit on their head real good. I do feel like that about these liars and deceivers and the people that, and then they think they're elevated above other people. That gets me real hard too. It's like, oh, really? No. you think you're so enlightened that you're going to teach lies and act like you're better than everybody else? No. Better be careful. I'll tell you one thing. If God were a woman and you were saying something about a woman that wasn't true and you're still breathing, you could consider yourself lucky. Wouldn't you consider that pretty lucky? If you said something about me that wasn't true and I could do something about it right now, but chose not to give you time to understand the error of your ways without retaliating. Want to talk about what true love is? Because we can talk about what true anger is and why that would come about, and what would be the wrath of God in a situation like that. Some people don't think that God's going to be our vengeance, that there will be no retribution, that they can go on doing these things forever, and there's nothing we can do about it. Well, I believe differently. But on the way and in the meantime, I do pray for God to keep me calm. It's not always easy, especially with those lies. But a woman travailing in birth, would you travail if you gave birth to somebody that from the father that had raped you? Yeah, that would make you travail. What if it was twins and one was like the dad? What then? Yeah. Like I say, and a lot of people don't understand it, but that's one point Stephen Banoon did make somewhat clear with his lack of understanding of the whole thing, or the hidden parts that he's not actually saying. But even animals cry in childbirth, in the birth of their offspring. Chickens scream when they pass an egg. Quite often. They didn't do anything wrong. There's a lot of lies out there that the churches are using for the benefit of their own to keep the money coming in, you know. If they just told you that it's perfectly normal to do stupid things when you're young, and then the grace of God comes into you and your conscience kicks in, if you're not inebriated or mentally ill, your conscience is supposed to kick in, unless you're working for Satan, and your conscience is not going to be there, and all you can do is lie about it. But under normal circumstances, adults grow out of their childish ways. You know, it's like that part in the scripture where it says, you know, like the ultimate goal is to go before the Father as a child, not childlike, but as a child would his parents or her parents. You know, that's not acting like an infant, that's acting like a mature adult before our Creator. You know, that's what would be expected, not this ignorant zoology that I'm forced to contend with on a daily basis. Stoic, statues, nudity, and these people are, oh, like, I'm so calm, I'm so stoic, nothing bothers me, oh, whatever. Just more ways to sugarcoat your filth, you know, or their filth. Well, I just want to make it really clear there's still only two genders, no matter the amount of lies. It doesn't, and then they're all criminal, and I do want to see them put in jail. All these authors of this textbook, all the publishers, are my government that's allowing this type of shit. There's not one congressman or senator actually making a difference in any of this, talking about whether or not men can get pregnant in our Congress, in our White House. Are you kidding me? Just all of it. It's too much. It's bullshit overload. Liars are those. All of them. Probably why Socrates hated democracy, because there is no more republic. It's not we the people, it's them the fucking freaks. And making us powerless where we can't even protect our own children. That's what pisses me off beyond words. I'm just telling you, you're all lucky I'm not 15 or 16 years old, because I'd actually do something with all this. Oh, hell yes. Not a doubt in my mind. It's like I say, young people do stupid things adults don't, but there's some not too bright or very bright being led by the satanic force, no matter what they say. If they're doing the bidding of Satan, you can't just say, well, this is the way things are. Like, and yeah, bugs are vaginas, and I have a penis up inside of me, and I give birth to my own without any procreation with a man's help or none of that. No, we'll just go along with the satanic fairy tale and teach that as part of the gospel. Is that what we're doing? Seems so. We'll just forget and rewrite that Mary was actually raped, or Eve, or whoever we want to call her. The tree that of good and evil. Yeah, she knew evil then, didn't she? And she took a bite, didn't she? Right? Like she had a choice. All the shit that's being told as truth that is not true. Later today, Jason from Archaics is going to go in deep on the bloodlines of the Israelites, the chronology and the timelines, and I'm sure exposing some of the lies that have been told. I would recommend everybody go over there and push the notification bell so you can learn some truth from one of the greatest minds on this planet, scholars that will help you with the truth if you're into the truth. If you're not, if you're okay with just being ignorant, I guess, that's up to you. Even if you're of Jewish heritage, Hebrew, whoever you identify as, you might want to learn your actual history from proven sources and not just one person, but actual proof and documentation of sources about the actual reality of things, you know. That would be my recommendation for the day. Go to Archaix and push that notification bell and learn the truth of their migration and everything else. And you should. And there probably, like I say, probably be some other nuggets of truth in there. I have no doubt. My senses are telling me this is going to be a phenomenal live stream. Something tells me it's going to be some truth bombs that are going to wake up the average person. If person's even like a rabbi, if you want to hear what's being said about you from other people that are scholars also with the same amount or more information than you've ever had available to you, you might want to check into it. But of course, there's some people that think that you're well read enough and you're okay. Even if it's not true, you're going to be okay with it. Well, I'm not like that. I'm digging into the truth whether it hurts or not. And when, like, REM's song came out, Losing My Religion, if you knew what it was like to be raised one thing and then find out that everything that you believed, almost everything, just wasn't the way it was being portrayed, that's a hard thing. But I had to get over it, you know. I'm not getting over this gender bullshit and the Baphomet push. That's not going to happen. It's ridiculous. And if people actually really think that man and woman actually did something to hurt you, and we're carrying that sin that Christ had to come and help us out of with that to save us, no. God came to walk with people because he wanted to be here with us to help us learn, not because you or I did anything wrong. You are not a fallen angel. Well, you might be, but the average person isn't, no matter what and who says what. You're a human being that God made and designed ahead of time out of love. So just keep that in mind. Just, we have to put on our thinking caps here and use common sense and logic. We really do. Logic's got to reign, or these freaks are going to take over the children, and nobody's going to be protecting them. And the first time somebody's little boy comes home and wants to cut off his private parts, and then the mom and dad are like, well, we want you to wait, honey, because we love you, but the state's going to step in and take that child out of that home. That's what's going on. This is important. This isn't something to just sit back and go along with whoever, whatever says what. Like these churches, the push to make things in this world that are not true appear to be true. That's about as terrible as it gets. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to go into attack mode or not, or how I'm going to go about this. I'm trying to talk about it rationally without getting too shook, but it truly pisses me off. Anyway, just use your heads, you know. Things are what they are, you know. Wow. All right, everybody. I appreciate you joining me. I'm going to get this uploaded, and I hope I touch somebody's heart because this is way out of hand. This is too much. This is beyond role acting or flying your freak flag in private or whatever. All of it, even the nudity on the internet, everything I'm forced to endure. I don't fucking belong here. I'm telling you that. So maybe you do. Maybe this is the way things are supposed to be for you, you know. But I just cannot relate. So, all right, everybody. I love you all. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.